This video has been a long time coming. I asked a question in the end of January about the identity stuff related to IEMT and what people find challenging. And if I'm gonna go to Facebook, I had two questions. I had a question from Sanchia. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Testing for changes feels less straightforward to me with the identity pattern. I would love you to hear your thoughts on that. And the second question is with Chris, always struggle to get people to understand what I'm talking about without giving examples. What are some ways you preface this to your clients using as much clean language as possible? So I'll start with Sanchia's example question. So when you're measuring for change when it comes to identity, what are you really measuring for? So in the kinesthetic pattern, we have a scale where we have people giving us a scale of 0 to 10 and then comparing that with before, and there's the submodality shifts that happen with the representation because it's a memory. But when it comes to identity, it's not as straightforward because it's not a memory, it's a representation. Now, the idea to keep in mind for you as a practitioner is that wanting or needing to have a result at the end of the session is a need that the practitioner has. The client wants to feel understood. The client wants to feel that they're connecting with somebody that is able to solve their problem. And sometimes, just by understanding that, regardless if you get a result or not, the client is more than satisfied. So first of all, as a practitioner, you need to drop, there's the need here, your needs to get a result. After that is dropped, once we're talking with people and we're getting to the identity related stuff, what are we changing? What are we measuring? So let's give a specific example. If somebody says, why is, okay. If somebody says, I hate myself, for example, we're working with the kinesthetic first. And then we're working with the identities, which was we have the I, we have the self, and we're dealing with that. Now, this is more abstract than, for example, if I'm working with my relationship with my mother, or my relationship with my partner, or my relationship with my friends. So, in a sense, when we want people, first of all, to have a sense of what we're working on, we need to give them a specific example which they can relate to. And we start from there and then compare before and after. So let's say someone comes to you and this person has a partner in their life. And you ask them, okay, so when you think of your partner, the way when you love your partner, where is your partner and how old is your partner? What's happening around your partner? So they will have a certain representation of their partner. And then ask them, okay, so when your partner does something that bothers you, where is your partner? How old is your partner? What's happening around your partner? So you have these two comparisons. So first of all, you have a representation that the person has that is a good one. You have a representation that the person has that's not a good one. And that way, you can have like a benchmark of what you're comparing with. Okay. And once you do the work, for example, on the partner that is doing something that they don't appreciate or don't like, you have a sense of comparing. Or if you're not going to work anything related to the partner, you're just having a benchmark of what we are looking for. If they don't have a partner, you can ask them about their pet, you can ask them about their parents, you can ask them about their friends, you can ask them about any person that they are having a relationship with. Now, going to the other question, which was asked by Chris, to keep it as clean as possible, we are gonna choose a context in their lives and we're gonna ask the people, so when you think of this person, where does their representation come up for you? They will give you a general answer. And then, okay, so start giving context, like I did with the example while I was explaining to Sanchia. When they do this, when you think of them, where does that show up? You can explain the concept of mental space, that people organize things differently. If you're familiar with social panoramas, you can mention social panoramas. Or if you're familiar with the NLP submodalities, you can give just a general thing. So when you think of an apple, you do the fruit you like, a fruit you don't like, a food you like, a food you don't like, and give that sense of mental representations. And then cross that over to we organize things in a similar way when we're thinking of people, when we're thinking of our roles, when we're thinking of ourselves. And if you're gonna teach them to work with internal relationships like I and me and self, you just give them an example of, so you as a person, you are a father, or maybe you are a son, or maybe you are a brother, or maybe you are a sister, or maybe you are a wife, or maybe you are a boss, or maybe you are an enemy. You have different categorizations of things. So these categorizations, you represent them in different places. And they're not parts, they're just linguistic references of experiences. And since our brain is a projector, you represent them in outer space. So going back to Sanchia's question, drop the need to measure when it comes to identity. Create a benchmark. Like what's something good related to one person, what's something bad related to the same person, and see the differences. Same thing applies to other stuff, and just give them examples. So does this thing about this, the bad thing about this person bother you? You do the test first, so people have a reference of what to measure with. So if the thing that's bad about their partner, you've done a test on it and it shifts to someplace else, they have a measure. Okay, so now they're comparing it with the reference with their partner that feels better for them. And we can start creating maps related to relationships, maps related to our own self-image, to our own roles. We can create maps related to our jobs. We can create maps of representations related to that. That's actually what I'm discussing in my social panorama for IEMT years training. So I hope this answers your questions. And if you want me to clarify anything, just drop it in the comments and like and subscribe. Thanks.